Welcome everyone to the Jim Hickey podcast, the A to Z of success in the ring. Jim, this week we're going to talk about the letter C, C being for confidence. You might just go through what your experience is around people's confidence, lack of confidence, how you can overcome any challenges you have around that area.
Thank you, Connor. Almost every rider would say, I need help with my confidence. And often riders ask me, what is confidence? And I believe confidence is an inside job. It's not an outside job. And confidence is a feeling, it's an emotion. And I very quickly ask riders when we start to work, like, what is your number out of 10 and much do you love your horse? It's never less than 10. Sometimes it's 11, 12, sometimes it's 20, sometimes 100, sometimes it's a million, sometimes it's 100 million, 100 billion, I heard another time, infinity, I heard another time. My next question, and I bet you can guess the answer, out of 10, how much do you love yourself? My question to you, Connor, do you think I get 10 as an answer?
For me?
Yeah, or from anybody?
I doubt from anyone. I think most people are extremely hard on themselves. So I can't imagine you get very high in a lot of cases, but sometimes it's the people you think are the most confident, you'll be shocked to find out that they're quite low.
Yeah. So I have to say, even when I give talks, when I ask this question, bar the people I've worked with, I've never heard a 10 out of 10. Rarely, very, very rarely. Now, this isn't anybody's fault because we're not taught to love ourselves. Of course, we all want to be loved. It's the most strongest emotion on the planet. But our love of horses, our love of the sport, our love of the equestrian world is like 10 plus always, and it goes infinity. But if we don't feel good, if we don't have that same love for ourselves, we have a lack. And we have a lack of belief, we have a lack of certainty, we have a lack of energy. Everything comes if we don't have that 10. So how do you do it? First of all, awareness is curative. So you have to be aware that this is something that we're not a 10 at. So whatever, I ask every rider, whatever you are at with your horse, you have to equal it. Whatever you're at your horse, you have to equal it. So if it's 10 out of 10, if it's 11, 20, 100, million, billion, whatever it might be, infinity, you must get pen and paper and write that down. I love myself, 10 out of 10, 100, 1,000, million, billion, infinity, whatever it is, equal to my horse. So that's step one, is being aware of that you're not a 10. 2 is putting yourself on the number that's equal to the horse. And number 3 is repetition. So how do we repeat it? So we have to create strategies for everything. Talk is great, but if you don't integrate stuff, it's useless. It's worse than useless because you actually know before and then you feel, oh my God, I know it, but I'm not doing it. And you feel even worse before getting the information. So I'm passionate that people will integrate everything, because if you don't use it, you lose it. So the best way to integrate confidence is to find a way in your morning routine. And I ask, and you might have seen this on Instagram posts, when you do something that's a little bit odd. So we all brush our teeth, and if you brush your teeth with your opposite hand and repeat, I love Jim and Jim loves Jim and I love Jim, just while you're brushing your teeth, you're wiring and you're subconscious, because it's unconscious and it's different, and it goes in quicker and quicker.
Okay.
So it's a simple technique. I would encourage every rider to do this, because once you start feeling good about yourself, self-love, your horse feels it. But if you love your horse and if you don't feel good about yourself, that's not matching the right energy. And confidence is not arrogant, it's just feeling good about yourself. Some people might have to start, okay, I don't like myself, okay, I like myself, and then build to the loving. But if you go straight to the source and just say, I love myself the same as a horse, and just go straight for it, you start to build this inner belief, this inner confidence. It's not an outside job, it's an inside job. And that's my tool and technique to fast track people's confidence. And I've seen riders with very little belief, and of course still riders have many, many things in their mind, but this strategy, this tool, this technique, I've seen the joy come back to them faster than and quicker than they could dream possible. And it's just, I feel blessed. I feel privileged to see people just step into this childlike confidence that has disappeared as we get older, and we've all these limiting beliefs and judgments and what people think and what leaders or influencers say to us that drop and knock all our confidence, because most of us have it as kids and then it just disappears. So this is a way for it to reappear.
Yeah, and like it sounds to me as well, sometimes we make it our identity to be successful, so that but we can still love ourselves as a person even if we have a bad day in the ring.
Absolutely.
So it's
Very
kind of
good
like how
point.
to make a distinction between that.
Yeah, so our identity sometimes is wrapped up in how we are seen in public, but it's what we do in private gets done in public. So how we feel inside, and I'll talk more on as we go through the A to Z, how to compartmentalize, not to take it personally. And it's hard, because if I can remember, having bad days at the shows, and then all week long, it was my primary thought. It was terrible, and no matter what I was doing, I kept thinking of that, those minutes, 2 minutes, 170 seconds in that ring, whatever it takes to get in and out between the buzzers, my whole life was lived. And I promise you, so many riders would say that I can't stop thinking, bad day in the ring, I think about, my week is destroyed. And they're taking it personally. They're not compartmentalizing it. They're not breaking it down. And I'll give it more and more tools and techniques as we go through this to help riders to feel good about themselves no matter what.
Yeah, and you and I are a great fan of Tony Robbins, and one of the lines or one of the principles he talks about is our greatest fear is that we're not enough.
Yeah.
And if we're not enough, we won't be loved. And that kind of feeds into confidence.
Yeah. So again, when we feel not enough, that's because we're wondering what everybody thinks about us. And I deal with, again, another strategy on that. But if we feel good about ourselves and we're working on ourselves, and we're working on that LOVE, that is the most powerful word we can use. And we're working on that every morning, and you've written down, you build it into brushing your teeth the opposite way. And if you write it down and put a part of your journaling, that is just incredible energy you're going to give to yourself. You're going to build your self-esteem. You're going to build your self-belief. You're going to build from inside out, not from outside in.
So how do you help people when you're coaching people then to build that confidence again? Is it like they're journaling, they're doing incantations, or they're doing meditations? How do you do that with people?
That's a great question, Connor. So everything we talk about, I always ask people to write it down, even at shows of pen and paper, and get them to write it down or remind them, because when they're called to write into their journal, because talking about it once is, great, and it's, oh yeah, that will work. But unless you take action and put pen to paper, the pen is mightier than the sword. And when you write down, I love myself equally as much as my horse. And when you have that on paper and you read it every day, you're just building this inner energy. You're building this inner compassion, this inner empathy, this inner belief, just like you have for your animal. Mm-hmm. And your horses, whether they're geldings, mares, stallions, whatever they are, that love, you're matching that love. And then when you get on, then you feel this great union, oneness with them, because you're working and you have that passion for them and they have the passion for you, because they're a feeling animal. They feel everything. So you have to feed yourself with this emotion. This most important emotion is self-love.
Yeah, like you'd often hear of it's a bit like a guitar string. Did you ever see a guitar resonate, one string resonate with the other?
Yeah.
So you hit one string and the other starts to vibrate.
Yeah.
So it's kind of similar, I imagine. If you love your horse and you love yourself, then you're both in a kind of coherence, resonance.
100%, Connor. Yeah.
That brings you into a better place.
Absolutely. And it's unusual. People don't think about this, but that is what confidence is, self-love. And you come first. Most people, who comes first, and so many people would say, my mom, my dad, my children. And on the plane, what do they say? You put the oxygen mask on yourself first. If there was an incident that you have to be number one, but you have to work on yourself, and you have to fill yourself with that strategy of self-love.
Yeah. So And you obviously help people as well to try and subconsciously bring it in through meditations and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. When I send messages to people that it's, to remember to, I keep reminding them the importance of to put yourself first and to love yourself and to fill yourself up with that self-love. So that's just energy then goes to your animals and that confidence grows in your belief. And not only that, you fill yourself up so you're not thinking of other people. You're just feeling it. It's an aura you build inside, and that comes out, that radiates throughout.
So thanks for that explanation, Jim. You might bring us maybe into a meditation around confidence so that people can listen to it every morning, and maybe it'll help them build that self-love and that consistency in their lives.
Absolutely,
And for a
Conor.
greater connection with their horse and a greater chance of success.
100%, Conor. Okay, I'm going to ask you, just like before, if you're driving, keep your eyes open, and then wherever you're sitting, get into a comfortable place, relax into the words you hear, and remember this is all about you. So taking calm, relaxing breaths, bringing in from above, breathe out through your nose, right down into your lower stomach, become consciously aware, breathing in and out, feeling your mind, great brain, your great head relax, your neck relaxed, your upper body, your right shoulder, left shoulder. Consciously breathe in, become aware of your breath, the feeling of relaxing, the feeling of being calm, the feeling of relaxation, the feeling of peace, centering yourself, giving yourself this time permission to indulge in this peaceful, calm, relaxating practice. Breathe in and out and feeling your stomach, become aware of your body easing. And in this relaxed place, just know that your mind, great brain, your great head, great heart is filled with self-love. Giving yourself permission to love yourself, just like you love your horses. Being comfortable with the uncomfortableness, because you might not have heard this before, even though you know it's the truth and it's right. Just feeling that love of yourself. Smiling, feeling the love of every aspect of who you are. And each breath you take, lean into that feeling of deepening that love, doubling that love, multiplying that love, just like you love your animals, just like you love each of your horses. Just that energy, that passion, that connection, breathing into that place of indulgence, of self-love. See yourself smiling. And if you're open to seeing yourself as a child, loving the child you, if you're open to seeing yourself as a baby you, if you're open to seeing yourself as a teenage you, if you're open to seeing yourself as an adult you, if you're open to seeing yourself as forgiving yourself if you've been hard on yourself, if you're open to releasing any old negative thoughts and accepting, embracing your self-love, setting yourself free with that beautiful thought process of enjoying the energy you bring to your horse, the love you bring to your horse is equal to the love you bring to yourself. I mean, over and back between yourself and your horse, yourself and your horses, the love of the sport, the love of yourself, the love of the discipline you're in, whether it's dressage, whether it's hunter, jumper, equitation, whatever it may be, the love you have for that discipline is equal to the love of yourself, the love of the animal. Lay with your left brain, right brain over and back and feel the joy, feel the smile come in your face as you feel that satisfaction of this self-love. This muscle, this exciting muscle you're building, this confidence inside, this love of yourself, your horse, your sport, the team around you, the village that it takes to get you there. feeling that energy, and right back to loving every aspect of who you are. And if you have any negative thoughts, just say, oh yeah, recognize it, notice it, oh yeah, I forgive you for that, and let it go. Feeling that calm, relaxing energy from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, feeling this self-love grow and making it a daily habit as you brush your teeth with the opposite hand, as you read your journal, as you train your brain to love yourself as much as your horse, as much as your animal, as much as your sport. The joy you get, the confidence, the feeling, and knowing your animal will feel that energy, just like the guitar string that vibrates onto the next. It's frequency, it's a vibration from 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6. Feel it build. Feel this new tool, this new strategy, this new technique, taking ownership of it and using it. You know, if you don't use it, you lose it. From 6 to 7, 7 to 8, 8 to 9. Just before you go to that top number, just say, I'm a great human being to embrace this new technique. I'm a great rider to know that this will boost my performance, my success in the ring. I'll boost my happiness, and I'll boost my joy, and I'll boost my excitement, and every animal will feel it. Everybody will actually feel it. 8, 9 and 10. Well done, well done, well done.
Thank you, Jim. Amazing as always. Thanks everybody. This has been the Jim Hickey podcast, the A to Z of success in the ring. We look forward to next week, where we'll focus on the letter D, which is for discipline.